What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over Harith. Now, I know you guys don't see me play Harith a lot, but I do see Hoon play Harith a lot, and I support him at mid lane like almost every game whenever I play like 5-man with Gosu and stuff like that. So if you guys don't know who Hoon is, he's currently the top 3 Harith in globally. So if you check it out, if you go to global, he's number 3 right there. Same squad as me right now. But yeah, so I picked up a couple of things from him, and maybe I can teach you guys what I've learned from him. If you want to watch more Harith gameplay, definitely check out his channel. I'll link that below in the description, so don't forget to check that out and subscribe to him. But let's look at Harith's mechanics first before we do anything. All right, let's go to our practice mode. Alright, for Harith's mechanics, the very first thing that you need to know is obviously the first skill. So what does the first skill do? If you guys see the skill indicator, it has like an arrow pointing into the middle into a circle. It does the most damage whenever a hero is hit on that middle in that middle circle. It actually does the same amount of damage even if they're like at the edge of the circle, as long as they're like inside the circle. A part of their body is inside the circle. It does 414 and plus 819, so it pretty much equals to whatever this is, 1243. So as long as they're inside the circle, but if they're in the edge of the circle like this, you still do a decent amount of damage, 414 damage. So if someone's like running away and they're like super far away, but they're super low, make sure to use your first skill. That actually helps. And it has helped Hoon a little bit when chasing people out with 1 HP and he gets the kill. Okay, so make sure you keep on track of that. Now let's talk about Harith's first skill. Harith's first skill is pretty much a dash, but once you dash, you get an enhanced basic attack. And if you look at the top of my regen bar, you'll see like a cooldown. You see Harith, it has like the same logo as Harith, and it has like a cooldown that goes around. That means that you need to basic attack somebody during that time period so that you get more cooldown on your second skill. You'll know what I mean. I'll show it right now. So when I dash right away and basic attack, look at my cooldown. It's already at 2 seconds. But when I dash and then I don't basic attack somebody for a good like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it's not going to reset right away. So make sure you use it right away. So it has 2-second cooldown. It has lower cooldown. So use it right away as soon as you dash. So that really helps output more damage, that helps you escape, that helps you become more annoying and all that. So yeah, don't use it so late. So if you wait and you use it too late and then your basic attack, it's not going to reset. As you can see, you're going to start at 3 seconds. Now let's talk about the ulti. The ulti has pretty much a slow on enemies. You're not going to see the slow because Zilong's not going to be moving. But the good part about this is if you're second skilling, while inside the ulti, you need to be inside the ulti when you're using your second skill. Let's turn off the cooldown for now. Your second skill doesn't have any cooldown at all, so you can keep dashing like this. See what I mean? No cooldown. Well, we gotta take this off, obviously. It has cooldown if you don't basic attack somebody, but as soon as you basic attack somebody, it's already reset. That's what I mean. There you go. So obviously without the ulti, you have like a 2-second cooldown, right? So it's slower. That's why your main point of damage is your second skill. You're going to want to max out your second skill first. Alright, let's talk about some tips and tricks for Harith that I picked up from Hoon. Let's check it out. Alright, let's talk about Harith's tips and tricks. So the very first tip that I will show you guys is, I actually already showed this in the mechanics section, but I don't know if you guys skipped that, but so I'll just mention it here anyways. So the very first thing is keeping the enemies in the middle of that circle. They don't have to be exactly in the middle of that circle to do the most damage with Harith. They could be at the edge of that circle and you'll do the same amount of damage. But if an enemy's like super low and they're trying to run away, and they don't expect you to hit them with anything, since look at this distance, like you would think that they're not gonna kill you, right? But you can actually do a little bit of damage. As you can see, I did 340 damage on that Zilong. As long as they're on that skill indicator, that little bit of damage, it doesn't have to be in the middle. Okay, even if you're really close as well, same thing applies, 340 damage. But if they're anywhere near that circle, so if they could be at the edge of this circle, you'll do 1020 damage. That was different because it added, there's that what's it called, explosive effect once it hits the middle of that arrow. So for the second skill, on the other hand, you need to know your distance Don't be dashing in front of them, because that will just make the distance between you and your enemy smaller. So that's definitely not good. You're more vulnerable to crowd control, to damage, and to getting focused by the enemy if you dash towards them. So my tip to you is obviously dash sideways, dash diagonally, and you can go around them. So pretty much like if an enemy's right here, try to dash like around instead of, you know, dashing forward. You're just gonna make yourself vulnerable and like way easier to die, since they're gonna focus you. Obviously you're the carry, they're most likely gonna focus you and want to kill you. If you make the distance smaller, they're gonna go for you. All right, so make sure to memorize the distance when of your enhanced basic attack after using your second skill. And I also mentioned this second skill cooldown before. Your second skill cooldown will go to 2 seconds as long as you use it on a specific amount of time. So if you look at on top of my regen logo and my retribution logo, when I dash, there's that time interval right here. It says the enhances the next basic attack. When that time interval runs out, you will not get the benefit of having your second skill cooldown. All right, so make sure you use your basic attack before that time interval runs out, so your cooldown on your second skill is much lower and you'll deal more damage, because your second skill is your main output of damage. This is what you max out with Harith. All right, now for the ulti, the only thing that I can give to you is you don't have to be exactly into your ulti. You can you can dash sideways. You don't have to be exactly in this sword logo. You see where I'm walking at, there's that sword little logo, right? You don't have to be exactly on it. So let me take off the cooldown. There you go. So what you can do is you can dash like in the vicinity of it, and your second skill will still reset. As you can see, I'm at the grass area, it'll still reset. You know what I mean? See? So make sure you know that, since maybe some newer Harith players think that you have to be like exactly at the sword, but you don't really have to. All right. So that's a tip for your second skill. And make sure when you're ulting, always try to dash, because your second skill resets. Try to do it as fast as possible. It's very, very important to take advantage of this ulti and dash as much as possible to do as much damage as possible to your enemy. Okay, so another thing for your ulti is you can actually siege towers a lot faster when you're ulting if you can cancel the animation when you dash towards the wall, like to like some kind of wall. All right, so you can go like this. You see what I mean? It's a lot faster than this. It's a lot faster than this. See what I mean? Because there's an animation of you dashing, but when you dash towards the wall, that animation is a lot shorter. So sieging towers would definitely help. Even on team fights, actually, this helps. So if you go remove this, add another bot right here, and you, let's say for example the team fight is on this corner right here, you could do it to enemies, see, and you'll get a lot of shield and you're gonna be harder to kill. So make sure you know that. You can definitely take advantage of that and outplay a bunch of people with that. So that's good. Obviously another tip is going through walls. Some dashes don't go through walls. That's why I always mention this about the dashes. Some heroes don't go through walls, like Tigro, his dash does not go through a wall. And that's about it. That's all I can think of with the tips and tricks. And let's go over the spells, emblems, and the equipment for Harith. Alright, for the emblems, there's only 2 talents that I would recommend, but it's the same like talent points. How do you say this? Give me a second. General is inviting me, but I am recording. So the first thing you want to level up is the movement speed, agility on the first row, and then magic penetration for the second row. And then the talent that I recommend is magic worship. So every time you deal like 7% of the target's HP, you actually burn them for a bit, and it deals a little bit more damage when you're trying to chase somebody. It makes sure that, you know, after a little bit of burst with Harith's second skill or even first skill, you'll deal that burning damage, and that'll definitely help you output more damage on the enemy. Now you can also use this emblem right here, Mystery Shop, which also helps. This is it doesn't burn the enemy, obviously, since you don't have that talent anymore if you take Mystery Shop, but the items in the store for your equipments will be a lot cheaper, and you don't have to farm as much, you don't have to focus on jungling as much as compared to if you don't have this talent. So that would definitely help. I see Hoon using Mystery Shop a lot more. but I use Magic Worship. It's up to you guys, really depending on your playstyle. Both are really good, but I don't recommend Impure Rage. It's definitely between Mystery Shop and Magic Worship. So it's you just gotta pick. But the first row and the second row are gonna be the same. It's gonna be agility and observation for both emblem sets, for both talent sets. So make sure you keep track of that. You can pick and choose depends on you, whatever you prefer. But both are good, definitely. So you can try it out and see what fits your playstyle. All right. So let's go over the spells. Now for the spells, the only spell that I could think of usually is gonna be either Retribution or Purify. I don't see Harith doing any more spell. Maybe Sprint or Aegis sometimes, but that's about it. Retribution most of the time, since you're a mid laner, you're the one that secures the crab, the objective usually, the turtle, the lord, and that's why they always run Retribution. Mid laners always run Retribution most of the time. But if, let's say, somebody else is running Retribution and you have like a support or tank at your mid lane to help you with the buffs anyways, you can also run Purify. You could run Sprint maybe. I don't really recommend Sprint since you have a dash anyways and it's easy for you to run away. You could go for Aegis for a little bit more tankiness. It's harder for you to get killed, but I definitely don't recommend Aegis if you're against an Esmeralda, obviously, because she's just gonna eat your shield. Esmeralda counters you because of your shield. But I only recommend, or I suggest, Retribution or Purify. It depends on you. If an enemy or if a teammate already has Retribution, you could also take Retribution. It depends on you, really. I recommend Retribution so you can farm as much as possible. But you could also run Purify if a teammate already has Retribution. Alright, so that's up to you. Alright, so you can try both of those. I don't really recommend Aegis or Sprint. Just try to keep it between Retribution and Purify. Now let's go with Harith's equipment. Now for Harith's equipment, it's gonna be Jungle Emblem first. Jungle Emblem, sorry. Why do I keep just saying Jungle Emblem? I said that on my last video too. Jungle Item first. After you wave clear mid lane, keep that in mind. After you wave clear mid lane is when you buy the jungle item. You don't buy jungle item as soon as you get into the game, because jungle item, when you buy it, it actually lessens your lane XP, whatever you get in the lane when you buy it right away. But if you clear the mid lane first, it's not gonna deduct you for buying that jungle emblem, since you know jungle emblem again, jungle item, for buying that item. All right, why do I keep saying emblem? God damn it. Alright, so the first item, it's going to be magic shoes. You could also go for magic penetration boots, arcane boots right here. You could choose both, but you know, having cooldown reduction so you could use your ultimate more would definitely help. But it doesn't hurt to actually get arcane boots. You could also do like demon shoes if you're a really new Harith player and you're having a hard time, how do you want to say this? Having a hard time at conserving your mana. Like, buying demon shoes is definitely okay for Harith. It wouldn't hurt to buy demon shoes if you're a newer Harith player and if you're more comfortable when with the mana regen of the shoes. Okay, so that would definitely help. But usually magic shoes after the jungle item. Okay, magic shoes after the jungle item. Now the first main core item that you want to buy is Calamity Reaper. What Calamity Reaper is, it's pretty much like an endless battle, but a mage version of endless battle. So whenever you use a skill, it deals true damage as soon as you basic attack. And as we know, every time Harith, since Harith's dash, the second skill, gets reset a lot and you can use it so often, and he pretty much spams it with his ulti, all that true damage will add up together, and it also gives you cooldown reduction so you can use your ulti more. So that's good, right? It gives you mana regen as well, so that's why not a lot of Harith builds demon shoes, since the very first item that they usually buy is the blue sword. I forgot what it was called, but it deals a little bit of true damage. It's like an item that builds into Calamity Reaper, but I forgot what it was called. It gives that item gives you mana regen as well, so it's easier for you to roam around and spam your skills, and it gives you a little bit of mana as well and magic power. So take advantage of that. It's pretty much like an endless battle, but for mages. Now, for the second main core item, it's going to be Feather of Heaven. So you might be asking, why Feather of Heaven? You don't really need attack speed for Harith, since Harith already has a dash and his basic attack gets enhanced and second skill get reset and all that, blah blah blah, right? So what this does is, if you have a higher attack speed for Harith, the animation for basic attacking is a lot faster, so you can use your second skill more often whenever you ult. This will only like you will only take the advantage of attack speed when you ult, but you don't take the advantage of this item without the ulti, since you still have a 2-second cooldown on your second skill anyways. So Hoon, I actually told Hoon to try this out, Feather of Heaven. He used to not build Feather of Heaven before, but he actually agreed to, like, the animation is a lot shorter, it's a lot faster, and you can deal more damage when you have Feather of Heaven. And obviously your basic attack is a lot stronger. It deals 40% of the hero's magic attack as extra magic damage. So that definitely helps hard players, since that's your main point of damage. It's always your basic attack with your second skill, right? But Hoon also builds another item which will get taken off soon from what I've heard. He also builds sometimes Soul Scroll. It really depends. If you're really fed and if you're confident that you're not gonna die, Soul Scroll will definitely freaking hurt. This item hurts. It's super cheap, and if you get stacks on this item, it's freaking hurts. So as you can see, whenever Hoon plays, he goes like 15-0, right? If he knows he's gonna play a game like that and he's not gonna die too often, he will buy a Soul Scroll and take advantage of the passive of this. So every time you get a stack, like all the way to 15 stacks, you get your soul converted into 40 points of magic damage. Magic attack, I mean. Not magic damage. Magic attack. So it doesn't mean that if you die, all your stacks, literally all your stacks runs away. It means that once you get 15 stacks, that will be permanently converted into 40 points of magic attack. Okay? But if it doesn't reach 15, if it doesn't reach 15 stacks, that stack will reset and it will run out. So it will be useless. It's definitely a gamble to buy this item. I don't recommend this for newer Harith players. So make sure you buy this if you know you're gonna be fed the whole game. If you're gonna play safe, if you're super confident in your play, definitely buy Soul Scroll. But if you're a newer Harith player, definitely go for the Feather of Heaven to make it safer for you. It's a safer play. All right. Now for the third main core item is going to be Concentrated Energy for more sustain. You get some lifesteal on your second skill, you get some lifesteal on your first skill, and it's very hard to kill you once you keep spamming your second skill, because that's going to add up shield and also some magic lifesteal whenever you're using it, alright? So that's good. It also gives you a little bit of HP whenever you kill someone, so that's good as well. Now for the fourth main core item, it's going to be Oracle. But there's an alternative for this. You can either go for Oracle. So if, let's say, the enemy team has more magic damage, you're gonna go for Oracle. But let's say they have more physical damage, you're gonna go for Thunderbolt is better. So it really depends. You gotta look at your enemy team. You can't just build like the same build over and over again at every single game. You gotta adjust to what your enemy team has. If they have more physical damage, definitely build Thunderbelt. You get more crowd control on your slow, second skill slow with your basic attack. And you get more armor, obviously. And you also get cooldown reduction for this. It's the same thing for Oracle. Instead of armor, you get magical defense. And you get 10% cooldown as well with this item. And obviously, the shield absorption for Harith will become a lot stronger when you're using your second skill. That's why it's very good to build Oracle on Harith. You get a little bit more shield when you build this. And that last item will be some magic penetration, Divine Glaive. So obviously it's for the tanks, pretty much. Divine Glaive. So so make sure you pretty much adapt or adjust your build depending on your enemy team. And that's about it. So buy jungle item before the boots, please. Buy jungle item before the boots and after you wave clear the mid lane. Don't buy jungle item as soon as the game starts. Alright, make sure you know that. Now let's go over the gameplay. Alright, so here we are with the gameplay. The very first thing I want to show you guys is what emblem I'm using. Obviously, it's going to be Magic Worship, but you could also use Mystery Shop like I showed you guys earlier on the emblem section. Who likes going for Mystery Shop, but I prefer Magic Worship. It really depends on your playstyle and what you prefer, whatever you think is better for yourself. And I went for Retribution, even though we had double Retribution with Hayabusa right here. It doesn't hurt to do double Retribution. It's easier to secure Lord, Turtle, Crab, and all that with double Retribution. So you can also, I could have also ran Purify, to be honest, if this guy was using Retribution. So it just depends on your playstyle, like I said. Let's go over with the gameplay. I was with Ice here and Flex. Me and Ice will be at mid lane, obviously. So before the game starts, I don't buy anything. Keep that in mind. I don't buy anything. My main goal is to actually clear the mid lane first and then do the jungle item. and then get the blue buff. So you'll see it here. After I clear this mid lane, I'm gonna be going for that jungle item right away. See, I buy it right there, and I went for the blue buff as soon as we clear that mid lane. That's the usual rotation, obviously. And when you're doing your blue buff, I tend to save my retribution because I save it for crab, an objective like crab. If nobody's contesting this blue buff, definitely save your retribution. But if somebody's contesting the blue buff, definitely use your retribution just to make sure that they don't steal that blue buff. And we see that Minotaur is actually out of position here. I don't know who had Aegis. It was either Kimmy or Minotaur. I wasn't really sure. I was not paying attention, but since we see them that they're really super overextended, we get to trade ice for a Minotaur, and we also get to get this crab right here since we have double retribution. So I would say that's worth it. Hayabusa ended up getting the crab since he obviously used retribution on it, and I was cleaning lane, but that's alright. As you can see, even though she's really far, I'm trying to get that little bit amount of damage on the tip of my first skill, so that's definitely really important to keep track of. I don't know how Alucard got a double kill down bot, but it's whatever. Since I knew that Kimmy was super low and she probably recalled, I decided to actually go for the counter jungle, and I think Hayabusa is actually going to take this. I'm not sure. Hayabusa might take it, and no, I ended up getting it. Alright, so that's good. I don't usually upgrade my jungle item to the second level. It really depends. If you're super fed early game, you can go for the upgraded jungle item, but if you're not, then definitely keep it at level 1. If you're newer to Harith, definitely keep it at level 1 jungle item and just let it sell that at the later stages of the game. I'm still farming here, clearing mid lane, getting the small minion, try to get every single thing, every single resource, just keeping it with my team. There's 4 of us right here, so we ended up going for the proxy. So what proxy means, if you guys are new to it, proxy means it's pretty much like layman's terms for cutting lane. It's just a League of Legends term. Some people say proxy singed. That means that it's a singe that cuts lane at the back, at the middle, at the enemy territory. So make sure you know that. Another tip here, if you notice, I went for the Calamity Reaper first. You might be wondering why. There's that blue item, that blue sword that actually gives you more mana regen and more mana regen, and it's easier for you to actually roam around and spam your skills. I'll show you in a bit after this team fight. As you can see, I'm trying to just run away from Chu and just keep my distance and do as much damage as possible. So I ended up getting a double kill there. Let's rewind a little bit and show you what I was talking about earlier. Right about when I look at my items. Oh, I missed it. There it is. Okay, so this item right here gives you mana regen. I forgot what it was called. I just call it the blue sword. But it's an item that builds into Calamity Reaper. You might be asking, you need to buy that before buying cooldown boots, alright? So make sure you prioritize this before buying cooldown boots. Actually, prioritize Calamity Reaper in general before buying upgrading your boots, okay? So make sure you know that. And as you can see, like I said earlier, I bought the jungle item, okay? Just so it's easier for you to roam around and have some mana regen. Spam your skills even more. Try to time your blue every 2 minutes. Usually at 3 minutes it spawns. The second blue spawns after you take it, if you take it on time at the early stages of the game. So Hayabusa already using his retribution there, trying to just help me get this blue a lot faster. So that's good from him. Thank you. I say thank you right there, obviously. Clearing mid lane. This is pretty easy stuff, pretty basic stuff. I see that Ice is going super aggressive on this blue buff, and I was thinking of helping him, but they ended up getting the blue already, so I can't really do anything after that. But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try to actually kill as much as possible if I can. So right here, I'm trying to stay on my sword, right? Keep my distance. I'm not really like dashing towards Minotaur. I'm not dashing towards like straight towards the Chu. It really depends if the Chu's like planning to run away. Is he planning to outplay? So, and right here, I told you guys earlier that you can actually animation cancel when you dash towards the wall. You don't have to have your ulti to do that tip and the tip right there. You can actually do that even without the ulti. Your animation is a lot shorter, and I actually get caught by Guinevere right there. I ended up getting a kill, but I get traded for it. That was a good knockup by Guinevere. Couldn't really do anything about that. It was just a good play from him, from her. I mean, since Guinevere's a girl, let's skip a little bit of this. And here we go. I am back at it again. I'm trying to just look where my team needs help right now since Hayabusa's pushing bot lane, and like we all know, Hayabusa is a solo laner and he's usually a split pusher, so I'm gonna let him push that bot lane obviously. And I saw Alucard super overextended there at mid lane, so I popped my ulti right away as soon as I saw him overextended. There was no way of running away. I see Ice getting chased right here, so obviously I'm gonna help him. It's pretty self-explanatory. This Guinevere, I don't know why she ulted. It's probably just to avoid the crowd control, but she was dead anyway, so it doesn't matter. And as you saw right there, my magic worship actually went to work. My burn effect actually killed Guinevere right there. And right here, we knew that Minotaur was in this bush or around this area, so that was another easy kill. We get this crab as well, and obviously since my blue buff is up, it's already like 5 minutes. I'm actually late by 30 seconds, but since I need to prioritize helping my teammates first, I don't get the blue buff until now. So if you're asking, what do I prioritize, blue buff or helping my teammates? It really depends. If you're a Fanny, obviously prioritize the blue buff since Fanny definitely needs it. But we're talking about Harith here. For Harith, most of the time you wanna go for the teammates help. You need to help your teammates. Unless you have really low mana, then just go for the blue buff. So that's the condition. If you have really low mana, just go for the blue buff. If you still have a decent amount of mana, then definitely help your team first. Prioritize helping your team. And this is an easy kill for me and Grok right here. And right here, you'll actually see me go for this Kimmy. Like I said, they don't have to be exactly in the middle of that skill shot to do a decent amount of damage. I actually played this bad. I didn't think that Chu was actually going damage, but he was. And he had the turtle buff as well, so that was even more damage, like the true damage that gives him true damage. But so I ended up dying because of it. But that's alright. I ended up getting traded. Good trade from Hayabusa right here. We're still going 8-2 and 3, so we died twice now, which is, I mean, not too bad in a span of 7 minutes. We have 8 kills in 7 minutes. That's pretty good, and 3 assists. And our kill participation percentage is pretty good considering that we died twice. I bought concentrated energy. I kind of changed the order of my build here, but definitely go for the equipment build that I gave you guys. Thank you to Granger who actually gave me a red buff right there, since he knew that I needed more than him. He doesn't have mana, so I needed more than him, and I just died. So definitely thank you to him. Props to him for knowing that I needed that red buff. Now, for, like I said on the builds earlier, you can either go for Soul Scroll if you know you're gonna be super fed, but I'm not really comfortable at the Soul Scroll build yet. But Hoon likes doing it. He's comfortable with the Soul Scroll build, so if you want to do that, definitely go for it. All right. Another tip that I can show you is you can actually dodge Guinevere knockup. Like, let's say there's circles about to be on you, and if you react to it like fast enough and you dash, you can actually dodge it. She doesn't knock you up. So I wanted to show this. I wanted to show you guys that my first skill. Look at my first skill. It's like the edge of the first skill, and it still did like a small amount of damage. And I ended up getting the Alucard, even though he was pretty far. We see that Minotaur already ulted. I dodged the Guinevere knockup, so that's good. They can't do anything on me now, so I decided to dive since they don't have like any crowd control, right? Kimmy doesn't have any crowd control. Minotaur is dead, and Chu was super late, and he's pretty far. And I get this kill as well. Triple kill for Harith right there. We're 12-2 and 5 in 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and we get a wipeout. So right here, like I said, you can do the animation canceling with the wall, but it really depends. I like doing it with the ulti. As you can see right here, I kind of do it right here, but Alucard's kind of on the way. I didn't want to go too aggressive. I went over aggressive anyways. He's almost dead, but I'm going for the tower, right? Tower is the priority because that's the objective. I didn't want to greed for the freaking kill because I saw Minotaur coming in anyways, and that's a really pretty good ult from Leomar to just push Minotaur away towards us, I mean. And that's gonna be a free hit. Chu kick someone else, they don't have anything unless Guinevere knocks me up, then I die, right? The only way that they can kill me now, since Chu and Minotaur okay, Minotaur's still alive actually, but Chu died. The only way they can kill me is if Minotaur knocks me up and I get CC'd, and if Guinevere knocks me up, like what happens here. But I think I'm still alive here. Yeah, that shield definitely helps. So if you didn't know, if you second skill and you hit like an enemy, you actually gain a little bit of shield every time you do it. So that's a little bit more sustained, and the concentrated energy added to it, it definitely helps. I think I get knocked up around here. Yep, right there. I get knocked up by like the edge of that circle. Definitely got lucky. But that should be GG soon, I believe. Let's skip a little bit. I believe that should be GG soon. Yeah, let's see here. I'm just gonna go, obviously, get some, help them. Leomard getting a triple kill. They don't even need my help. My team rotated so well, they don't even need my help. And that should be GG, I believe. That's 4 people dead. As you can see, I'm canceling my animation by dashing towards the Nexus and getting that Nexus. It's a lot faster when you're sieging something. Okay, so that's really like a basic gameplay of Harith. It's not the best, obviously, since I don't play Harith a lot. And right there, we get that MVP right there. Let's see what our score is. Let's see here. We went, something's covering it, 15, 3, and 6. So what happens here is, you can sell your jungle item as soon as you build all these items, alright? But make sure that you remember to build this first before upgrading your boots. Okay? And at this game, I was going, since I was so fed, I didn't even go for Feather of Heaven, but definitely go for the equipment build that I gave you guys. Go for the equipment build that I gave you guys. I just changed up the order, but it's pretty much the same thing. I was gonna build the same thing anyways. This is gonna be a Thunder Belt for more crowd control. For them, since they have a lot of physical attack, as you can see. Alucard is physical, Kimmy's physical, this guy's physical, and only Guinevere is the mage, and that's why I was gonna go for Thunderbelt instead of Oracle. So make sure you adjust that depending on your enemy team, alright, team composition. Let's see how much damage we did. Oh, we kind of missed it. Come on, there it is. So 36, we did a pretty good amount of like tower damage. Holy crap, I did more tower damage than Granger himself, like I said. By canceling the animation on that second skill whenever you're sieging, it definitely helps. We did the most damage, obviously, with 75,000 in a matter of 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes if you round it up. So that's pretty good, right? And that is about it, guys. That is it for the gameplay. Thank you guys for watching. That was actually a ranked game, because yeah, it was a ranked game, since we get a star. Just to show you guys, I don't like showing classic games. You guys know that. I hate YouTubers that show classic games and they think they're freaking good. Alright, and yeah, that was a ranked game, just to show you guys I gained a star from it. So that is it. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. Definitely check out Hoon's channel. I will link that below in the description. This is what I learned from him by just supporting him and watching him, and you know, after tanking for him for a decent amount of time now at mid lane all the time, I picked up a couple of things from him, and thank you for that. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and share it even. That's it. Peace.